comes down to it, the day-to-day stuff is done by small churches. So your small local pastor is the one that's going to help you the most, and it's really going to affect your life the most. That happens right here.
Welcome to the Michigan City Free Methodist Church. God's in the here and now, and He wants to make an impact in the here and now. Kind of traditional, moving towards contemporary.
I'm here with Nate Ward, and he is the pastor of the Free Methodist Church. He also does a lot of activities with campus life.
Correct.
How long have you been a pastor?
I've been a pastor here at this church for about a year now, a little over a year.
Yeah.
And then I was associate pastor a year prior to that here. I was going through kind of a rough period in my life, and really wasn't seeking out ministry as far as pastoral, definitely not pastoral. They offered it to me, and I turned it down. But doors were starting to open, and prayers were being answered, and so I said, you know what, I'll go for it. And a year later, I'm here. God was telling me, you know, you've done really good so long in the shallow end of the pool, but when are you going to take a dive in the deep? You know, when are you going to trust me? And it was so scary.
And what about campus life? What kind of explain that a little bit? What do you do with campus life?
So what campus life is it's a parachurch ministry. So it's not owned or ran by one specific church. It's actually was started by Billy Graham, Youth for Christ. And so campus life is just kind of a leg extension off of Youth for Christ. They have urban life, they have city life, they have all different types of branches off of Youth for Christ. And like I said, it's a parachurch ministry, and they focus on junior high school kids. And it's kind of a non-threatening place for them to come to get to know one another. And my role as a leader is to it's like the 3-ring story. So it's one ring would be, you know, I talk to them, I share my story, my testimony with them. Second ring is, you know, I hear them, I listen to their story, find out what they're about, and then ultimately it's to lead to God's story, and then how does all that fit together?
It also does a Facebook Live broadcast. What is that, every week? Is it whenever you get the feeling?
It's a few times a week. Sometimes, you know, I'll feel that prompting from the Holy Spirit, and I just go live.
You go after it. So, and what is it called?
It's been called a few things. Lately, I've been running with the name Morning Cup of Honest Tea.
Yeah.
TEA.
Right.
And I don't drink tea. I typically drink coffee. So there's kind of a play on all of it.
But Morning Cup of Honest Coffee doesn't really fit.
Right.
Well, right?
Yeah. It's honest tea. Honesty.
Yeah.
And really, my goal with it is to, just to share with everybody my heart and ministry. One of the fundamentals is simply discipleship. I think that's really lost in a lot of our churches. The pulpit's not the main thing. The main thing is how are we discipling one another, sharpening one another. We want to listen to God and move according to the Spirit's leading. And sometimes people they have so many strong-rooted traditions that they don't see past that. And so it's always going it's always going to the Bible. Hey, this. I don't think people fully understand like the stress and the pressures that come on being a pastor, and I definitely don't fit your traditional pastoral kind of persona.
Yeah.
I've kind of broken that quite a bit. So, you know, it's just a way to kind of let people in to my mind a little bit and kind of see how ministry is from my point of view.
Be a little more transparent.
Exactly. That's
like
the
that.
big thing.
Good. I think that's needed, especially now in today's society when, you know, we're so polarized with, even within the church. Sometimes you get, you know, this denomination thinks you should have a suit and tie and you should be standing up here on the pulpit and really kind of separate yourself from the congregation and keep that separation.
Sometimes, honestly, sometimes we hold on to traditions, and there's traditions that I've held on to that it's hard to progress and move forward when we're stuck. We're stuck in tradition in the background and stuff.
Do you preach in shorts and t-shirt right now, or you got that far
I kind
yet?
of watch the t-shirt thing. I usually, if I wear shorts, it's still a button-up shirt, not necessarily a dress shirt, but just a button-up shirt.
Not flip-flops yet.
No, but I would love to get there real soon. Maybe not this summer, but
maybe next summer.
Lord willing, next summer, because I love running around barefooted.
Yeah.
And
that would probably be okay.
You know,
back in the day, you know, being barefoot and on God's property is good, right?
Right, you know, take your
but
sandals
flip-flops
off.
are not.
Take your sandals off. You're on holy ground, you know.
Maybe we should call them sandals instead of flip-flops.
Yeah,
That would work better.
So at the beginning of this video, I talked about how the small local church is the one that really affects your life the most. It's the one that really is going to be the place where you plug in and you find depth. And listening to what Nate said, he is one of those guys that really just loves to be able to talk through and be able to disciple people. As he said, you know, discipleship is one of the things that is very, very lacking within the most local churches nowadays. We've traded discipleship for tradition. And this is not just in your traditional churches. You know, Nate pastors a Free Methodist church, which is typically a more traditional format. But even within your contemporary churches or even your mega churches, we're exchanging that for a real relationship. So we're supposed to be called to be different, and we're supposed to be a peculiar people. We're supposed to be different than everything else. And the way that happens is by loving people. And how does that happen? I think we got a really good picture of how that happens with the whole Campus Life team was there in the mix. They were just loving on these kids, providing a place for them to get to know each other, to get to know them, and to really kind of just explore being around each other. It was that circle where, you know, Nate and the team, they just get to know people. And that's what we need to do as the church. Just get out there and get to know people. Not beat them over the head with the gospel, because that's not what the gospel is for. The gospel is good news. But to really get to know them and to understand them and to tell them that there is something better out there than what they're in right now. The other thing that Nate and I talked about a lot was the traditions. Traditions are not just in those what we consider traditional churches. They're in all of our churches. We have our things that we hold on to like we hold on to them so tightly that if to think that we could change that or we could lose that brings up some anxiety and some, maybe even some fear. That's a good indicator that it's not necessarily a God thing, but it's more just our flesh wanting to hang on to something that we've gotten comfortable with. It's kind of like a security blanket. You know, there's a difference between a comfortable pair of shoes and an old ratty pair of shoes. It's traditions that polarize people. We need to continue to figure out, how do we interact with people? And I think the best place to start is in your local church. Start interacting with people within your local church, but then also start interacting with people in your local community, in the churches within your local community. Let's start there. Get together for those activities. Make the extra effort to go have lunch with somebody from another church. We can go out there and experience that abundant life that Jesus promised us that he would bring. But that abundant life comes with interacting with his people, with his body, with his church. So get out there and find other people to interact with. Kingdom life needs to be about interacting and relationship, not just your personal relationship with Jesus, but your relationship with his people. Tune in the next time. The link for Nate's Facebook page, because his Facebook live stream, which is a morning cup of honest tea, TEA, but it's a great time to really hear the heart of a pastor in raw format, and you should tune into it. So I'll put a link in the description, and it's phenomenal. He's a great pastor, great guy to listen to, and he just cares about people. The next one I'm working on with Nate also, and we'll talk to you about the Kiki Challenge. And trust me, no, we don't dance. You don't want to see us dance. That would be scary. Leave a comment down below. Let me know what you think about discipleship. Let me know what you think about traditions. Give the video a like. Go ahead and subscribe to the channel. Click the little bell so you can tell when I'm gonna actually upload a video, because I'm not on a consistent basis yet, just because of work and things like that. So until next time, get out there and enjoy life.